and welcome to New Hope for Today. My name is Pastor Andrew Hise, and I'm the pastor of New Hope Friends Church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I know that we've been on a little bit of a hiatus from New Hope for Today for the past couple of weeks, and I've missed making these videos. Easter can be a very busy time for those in the ministry, but I'm glad to be back with you, sharing from God's Word and sharing just a little hope for your day. I know many people growing up, I never really heard this phrase, but I've had several people that have told me that their mom or somebody in their life, grandma, whoever it was, used to tell them this little phrase. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. And some of you, as soon as I said that, you got memories of your mom or your grandma or your dad or your grandfather or somebody in your life telling you that. And many people, we take it as good advice. And that is true. That it's a great thing. And honestly, if you want to get right down to it, Jesus had very similar advice when he was talking to the Pharisees one day in the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew chapter 12, and I'm just going to read from verse 33 down to verse 37. He says this: either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad, for the tree is known by its fruit. You brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you are evil? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. The good person out of his good treasure brings forth good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure brings forth evil. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Now, it seems like Jesus is starting off this little speech here very modestly, basically giving us the same advice that our parents would give us. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks, so guard what's coming out of your mouth. But then he kind of takes it to a whole nother level in verse 36 when he talks about the day of judgment. And when I read this we actually have a new reading plan that we're doing here at New Hope, and we're reading through the Gospels. But as I was reading this, it scared me. It struck me so deeply that when it says in verse 36, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. I think about my life and how often I speak. I mean, I literally, my job is to talk. That's kind of what I feel like sometimes. And so I think about all the careless throwaway words that I've said in my life. And so what comes from this? Like, there's a high stake here. And so immediately I know my type A personality is like, okay, so how can I guard my tongue? How can I keep myself from saying careless things? And so we want to find the remedy for this. And for many of us, we're going to go immediately where I went, which is just have to try really hard to make sure that I'm slow to speak. Take that advice my mama told me growing up and make sure that I live by that. I live by, if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that would seem like good advice, but Jesus here gives us, I think, not directly, but I think he gives us the answer when he talks about, in the end of verse 34, he says this phrase, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You see, the problem is not the words that we say. The problem is our heart. There's something broken in our heart. And as long as there's something broken here, we really can't fix what's coming out of our mouth. That's kind of what Jesus is saying here. And we know that really there's nothing that we can do to change our hearts. We have to go to God and ask him to give us a new heart. Ask him to change our heart. And then we won't have careless words coming out of our mouth. Because then what would be treasuring in our heart would be the things of God, the things that we love of God. So I hope that today this is an encouragement to you. If you struggle with the words that you say, don't try harder just to make your words go away. Examine your heart, because out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth is going to speak. And yeah, do take the advice of your mom. Don't have anything nice to say. Don't say anything. New Hope for Today is a video devotional released on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is recorded by Pastor Andrew Hise of New Hope Friends Church. New Hope Friends Church is located in Goldsboro, North Carolina at 4451 U.S. Highway 70 East. New Hope for Today. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow.